if somebody wanted to watch, Michaela, if somebody wanted to watch the meeting live right now, if they were just sitting at home, can they watch it?
Yep.
Well, they can, okay.
Via Zoom or YouTube Live.
And then you put it on our website for them to watch.
YouTube site now, yep.
There is a time delay.
There is a time delay.
I mean, like seconds or hours.
No, oh, you mean like once it's done? It should go, so on YouTube, the channel's kind of different. It'll show up tonight under live videos. And then I'll go and finagle with it tomorrow or whatever, but it'll be there right after, I guess. I don't know exactly.
But when it's running right now, it's like 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Maybe 10 seconds. I don't know. And I don't know because then the YouTube live is feeding off of the Zoom. And I don't know if there's any lag between, like if the Zoom makes it any worse.
Yeah.
Or not.
You can tell there's a secondary screen behind the foreground, which is probably the
That's the
YouTube channel. And now this is.
Oh, there, yeah, you
One
can
that's moving, yeah.
see it.
Oh,
Because it was, and so you'll see it. We could probably time it and figure out exactly the.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Just don't stare at it. Make you crazy. Yeah.
Man, who stares at ghosts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the new spatial recognition in its eyes.
It's just-
The camera will turn to the voices. It's a voice. Yeah. Look at
Or
more.
sensitive.
Somewhat smart.
Smart-ish.
Okay, it is 5:00 on Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. I call this regular town board meeting of the town of LaPointe to order. And roll call, Mike Anderson,
Here.
Amy Baxter,
Here.
Sue Brenna,
Here.
Samantha Dobson,
Here.
Glenn Carlson here. Also have our town clerk, Michaela Montaigne, and our town administrator, Michael Gupta, as well as members of the audience. Is there any public comment? Yes.
I am here in my role as the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee Chair to remind you and invite you all to our meeting next Tuesday evening in this very room at 5 p.m. It's just sort of a community outreach event to let everyone know where we're at, where we've been, where we think we're going, and the whole affordable housing process.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Any other public comment or at least short public comment? Okay, hearing none. We will move on to administrative reports. The first administrative report is the town administrator's report. Are there any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Mike.
When will the public be notified of the results of the North Shore paving survey?
We are keeping it open until Labor Day, so we will have it available sometime later that week.
Okay.
I believe the Gazette deadline is that week, so we'll get it in that issue of the Gazette and we'll publicize it at least the next town board meeting. We can talk about putting it on the website, but I probably want to share it with you all first.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one for Paul. How long is the airport gonna be closed? And did you email everybody?
Yeah, I emailed the people on my list.
Cool.
We also probably start putting
Right? How long will it be closed?
yeah.
Roll your windows down.
Which is, I'm sorry, so today, tomorrow?
So that will take tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
This is just the first stage, 3 stages.
Okay,
I did.
There'll be other filters.
and then I had a question for Michael.
Yes.
Do you think that, I assume that there's a water filter in the ESC building. Do you think that we should change the filter the day before sprinkler testing next time?
Leave that
It's
as
it's
public.
actually a different system. That is a fire, the pump system. It's in that little concrete shed behind the building.
And we can't add a filter to it, so this doesn't happen again?
That'd be a great question for the fire crew, and they will hopefully be back next week.
Cool.
And to follow up on what Amy said, yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you don't want to be replacing it every time.
Right,
I mean, if it was my well, I wouldn't want to be doing. it.
right.
So if somebody,
It's not the water from the well itself, it's the water from the tanks
yeah, but
being sucked.
regardless of where it's coming from, I mean, you don't want to be replacing a pump every time.
Right?
You have to test, you know.
Those tanks were filled with water from. No more when they come back.
So they should probably be filled from the well and not from the lake.
They're not drained when the system, that's that water still. Tanks, but. Again, until they're back to replace the pump and. Surgery, I don't have all those answers yet.
Any other questions on Michael's report? Okay. Thank you, Michael.
I have one more question. This might be more for Paul. You know, the hangar lease in, well, Michael wrote it. It says town control. It's now under town control building.
Correct. So the hangar itself is leased out for lease on a long-term lease. So that lease expired in June. So now town controls the entire building.
Which we didn't before, obviously. Okay.
That was an obscure lease that I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and there was a typo on
Oh, yeah.
item 7. Sure.
Yeah, so, excuse me, item 7 should be corrected to read that the town's equalized value is 383,140,000. Excuse me, 383,140,000. Figure that's in there is the actual county total.
Mm.
And the increase for the town is 23%, not 15%.
Did theirs go up 15%? Did the counties is?
Yes.
Theirs went up 15. Okay, thanks.
But the,
The 1.72 billion is the county
correct,
total.
Okay.
but our preliminary share of taxes does indeed go up from 20.9 to 22.
And our equalization is 381 million something.
383.
And I mean, that's our tax base increased 50% faster than the county as a whole. As a percentage.
And he hasn't done the revaluation.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
All right, any other questions or comments on Michael's report? Moving on to Public Works. Questions or comments?
So I have a quick question then. Are all the trees going there or is it almost done by the airport?
I think we're almost done.
So some trees will still be there.
For the time being, but I can't guarantee forever until the inspector does his drum survey.
Okay. I was just curious because we're kind of thinking that we're going to lose some sound barriers.
Sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the Public Works report? Okay, moving on. Murph Supervisors report. Any questions on that? Report managers report. Go through that. Other questions on the report manager? Planning and zoning? Accounting administrators report?
Maybe Michael knows. In Barb's report, she has that others may, or others would want training. there's gonna be some people that are gonna get training for her position and others who want it. Is there, like, do we have other employees that want to get trained to do that job or?
Can you tell me where exactly you're looking at? Like,
In on the first paragraph, on the bottom of the first paragraph.
that's for workforce, the payroll and the accounting software.
Okay,
So we as department heads and town hall staff will need training to access certain parts of the software so that we have real-time information and know how to manage our budgets on a more real-time basis. So that's the training.
right now Jamie does it?
No, what Barb is referring to is that all department heads will have access to real-time budget information, but how to find that? You need to create specific training cheat sheets essentially, so that people can find what they're looking for on a regular basis.
Okay,
This is department heads.
Yeah.
This is for department heads to be able to see how they're spending their money. Okay, any other questions on Barb's report? Police chief's report? Questions? We do have an item later on the agenda. Captain schedule. Fire chief's report? Questions? I thought it was really helpful to get the planning notes
Mhm.
and but they can continue doing that.
That's the thank you.
and then if you, like on the very back, on the back page, the very last sentence. And he talks about, we have sent our planning meeting minutes that lays out everything, but in the town board should be shared. This, and, yeah, he makes it sound like we're not. Like that we should be seeing something we're not.
So
You
this,
typically don't get the planning minutes,
yeah, this is the stuff here.
so that's what that whole.
This is just their committee.
So we're gonna start getting this?
That's what Glenn has requested, so there's no reason that we can't share.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty thorough.
Normally, when we have any minutes at the bottom of it, that who put the minutes? Yes.
Well, they're more like notes,
Oh, they're more like notes. Okay, thank you.
or it's, notes, task list. It's not a committee type meeting. Official records are kept.
Given the detail in them, I have to imagine that these were done by Red. Okay, any questions on the ambulance director's report?
Oh, fine. That was fine.
I'm sorry, oh, fire, any on fire? Ambulance? Okay, is there unanimous consent to place these on file?
Yes.
Okay, next item, Public Works. Under Road, Stock and Harbor, we have a request to approve the items that you've received listing of for the auction that is going to take place on the Wisconsin Surplus Online Auction site. And I think we need a motion to approve this sale of
As
assets.
long as Ben's here. Maybe it's on here, I just can't find it, but when we used to sell vehicles, one thing that was always asked with auction associates was it maintained by a certified, place? And that was what we were always asked. And, we'd say yes, because we did, we took it back to the dealer or whatever. So maybe if, in the list of, that could be something that might get us a couple extra bucks rather than some, increase. Well, you know what I mean? People ask those questions. Yeah, we used to it.
I'll make a motion that we approve the items for auction. Okay.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? And you will notice there are some things that were impounded that are being sold. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. B, authorize a rate and draft lease for the month-to-month rental of the terminal hangar. And you have the lease in front of you, and I believe you have the lessee in front of you as well. So there you go. Thank you, John. Is there a motion to authorize the rate and the lease?
I'll make a motion to authorize the month-to-month aircraft hangar lease. I've seen the rate,
It's in the lease.
Number
the
two,
rate within the lease, at the rate within the lease.
1 second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, committees, planning and zoning. I don't know that there was anything. Oh, okay. Public Arts Committee, we've got the appointment of Robin Russell for another term ending July 31st of 2025. The motion to,
Make a motion to approve Robin Russell for a term ending 7/30/2025.
Oh, second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, under the library board, we need to rescind our appointment of Jessica Belk. It turns out that they are not going to be resident on the island, and therefore she won't be eligible to be on the board. So is there a motion to rescind the?
Should we do it back? Because I made the motion and you seconded it.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't make a difference. I'll make a motion to rescind the appointment of Jessica Bell.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Harbor Commission. The Harbor Commission does not have an update at this time, so I request a motion to delay this item, postpone.
I'll make a motion that we postpone the Harbor Commission update.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I think they would hope that they're going to be able to do this in 2 weeks. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Town Hall Administration. First item is a draft policy on public records. I had asked Michael to prepare something for the town board, basically clarifying what drafts need to be public documents and what drafts do not need to be public documents. Michael, do you want to add anything more? This is really a first reading. So if anyone has any
I have.
suggestions, Mike.
At the very last sentence, it has more complex requests should be forwarded to the town clerk, and right above it, the town clerk is the custodian of the records. That's state law. And shouldn't that be switched to shall instead of should? I mean, I think they shall be.
Yes.
So that's for record requests. So paragraph basically says, we get phone calls all the time. The front desk gets calls, zoning gets calls, I get calls for someone. Can you send me a copy of that? That is technically a record request. There's no reason to send that request to Michaela and have her fulfill that request when we can simply send someone a PDF.
Not that she should fulfill it, but I mean, should be aware of it.
Well, that's what
It says
that's what this sentence says. And then if it's something that takes more time or is more complex, that's where it says we are recommending that staff members forward it to the clerk to handle the fulfillment end of it. I think we're saying what you're asking.
Well, I would say shall. I mean, let the clerk decide. She's the custodian of records, or whoever the clerk
That's
is.
an easy fix. So
Okay.
shall instead of should.
That's all I'd say.
Okay, any other comments for now? Otherwise, this will be on the agenda next meeting as a resolution. So that it'll be available on our website, etc. Okay, we don't need to take action unless there are other comments. No. Okay. Next item is the capitalization policy. This is per the recommendation from our auditor in their most recent audit report. So we really need to make a motion. This is the entire policy. The thing that has changed, are those the underlined?
The only two things that have changed are $5,000 or more replaces $1,500 or more. The dates changed.
Okay.
The rest of the policy remains the same, including what's been bold-faced, what is under.
So it's just been amended.
Just that 5,000 has been changed from
We don't
1,500.
to see. I'll make a motion to accept the amended capitalization policy effective August 1st, 23.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next item C, also in accordance with the recommendation from the auditors, is to combine the town's designated funds savings account with the town's general fund checking account. We will continue to, we'll keep for them obviously as separate things, but there's no reason that the bank needs to have separate funds for that. And so it makes for one less bank account to track, one less general pool of funds and so forth. We don't need to then physically transfer every month money from one account to the other account. So it makes it a lot simpler. It's just a bookkeeping entry then. So do we have a motion to combine the town's designated fund savings account at Bremer Bank with the town's general fund checking account at Bremer Bank?
I'd make a motion that we combine the town's designated savings account with the town's general fund checking account.
A second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, next item D, contract with Ehlers and Pierce for accounting services. And you can see the description of all the services that they're going to be providing on a weekly basis. A lot of what Barb had done. And so the cost for the rest of this year isn't going to exceed 25,500. Next year, the total will not exceed 66,300. So we need a motion to approve this contract with Ehlers and Pierce.
I'll make a motion to approve contract for services and Ehlers and Pierce CPAs.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item 5E, Town Administrator Annual Performance Evaluation.
I'll make a motion that we move 5E and 10, no, I'm sorry. 9A to after public comment B.
And so we'll do the, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. The plan would then be, we'll go into closed session. We will first be in closed session with our attorney regarding the Department of Revenue and Ashland County issues. And then we will continue in closed session without Michael Kukta's presence for the board to discuss his performance the past year. We will then come out of closed session and talk about agenda items for future meetings and if there's any action that we need to take as a result of the closed session. Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion?
We move the in town Michael's administration below that though.
Yes,
Wait,
we're moving it to right after 10C.
didn't Sue say above it?
She said after public comment B, which is putting it under lawsuits and legal, and I just wanted to clarify that it would be after legal issues with the county.
Right.
Okay. Is that consistent with the second? Okay. So any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, 6 vouchers.
I will make the motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $75,206.85.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, minutes, of the regular town board meeting, July 25th, and special town board meeting, August 1st.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular town board meeting minutes from July 25th. And the special town board meeting Tuesday, August 1st.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next item 8, emergency services, police department. And I had asked that this go on agenda. We had had a discussion about this in closed session at our last meeting. And there, we are in a situation basically because of our inability to hire staff, where we really don't have any choice but to start to rely on Ashland County for some primary coverage on the island. And that was not mentioned in the public session. So wanted to mention that because that is different than what the town board had talked about back in January when we had found money to be able to afford to continue the 24/7 local coverage. So this is not primarily a money issue, although we have been with now down to 2 full-time officers incurring a great deal of overtime. But more than the cost is the potential burnout. We have our officers are working, frankly, I think excessive amount of overtime, and we just can't have our law enforcement burning out on us. So I just wanted to mention that if anyone else has a comment.
I mean, I don't have anything. I think everyone knows how I feel. Thank you, Rob.
Sure. And we shall see. The emergency services are aware of this, and they will be aware of more precision with respect to the week by week scheduling, so that they're not blindsided.
So I do have a question.
Go
You
ahead.
gave me a chance with it. Somewhere, and I know it was a note that Michael wrote, but at the time I think I read that the sheriff hasn't responded back to us yet. Is that-
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think we need to take any action on this. This was really just informational.
Thank you.
Okay, next is public comment B. Do we have any further public comment? Paul?
Yes, I was over a month ago, the board decided to lower the speed limit on Snow Place Road, also referred to as Turnbuller Lane. And I was just curious as what the status of that is. I mean, are there signs gonna be coming up? What's the dealio?
Well, we will refer that to Public Works and to town administrator for response for our next.
Right now.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Ben.
It was just located yesterday. For signs this week.
Sounds good.
I guess I have one question, Michael, and this goes back to the thing on the North Shore survey. How has been the response so far?
We have slightly over 200 responses.
Wow.
Okay,
And again, to elaborate a bit on some of the questions I received personally, because of the way the survey is structured, we will be able to break down results not only island-wide, but people who live on North Shore or other segments, so that we can see how much support there is in different parts of the community.
But one question, well, I could take that survey 10 times if I wanted to, right?
Mhm.
You can take it as many times as you want.
The survey monkey does have the ability to limit how many times a certain IP address takes the survey.
But the people doing the survey don't know that online. Like I did my survey online
Correct.
and there was nothing that asked me. I could have turned around and did it again. I didn't.
maybe not.
Well, I know people that have.
Embedded. Well, hopefully not more than
It's
one.
it's an advisory survey. It's not meant to be
Right.
scientific, and we don't want to deprive households of having.
If there's four
members of the
people with one
household.
computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. We
it
will,
does have the ability to, stop certain levels of valid stuff against it were.
Like a box or something.
okay, so any other public comment? All right, hearing none, we are now going to go into closed session, first for purposes of conferring with legal counsel with respect to litigation in which it is or likely to become involved in accordance with Wisconsin statute 19.851G. We also are going to be discussing employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility under 19.851C. The town goes into closed session, it will reconvene in open session before adjourning. Is there a motion to go into closed session for these purposes?
I'll make a motion. We go into closed session for what you just stated.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? This requires a roll call. Mike Anderson.
Yes.
Amy Baxter.
Yes.
Susan Brenna.
Yes.
Samantha Dobson.
Yes.
Glenn Carlson. Yes. So we are in closed session. And Bryce standing by or